Albrecht Durer was an extraordinary man. An artist, a spy. Today, no one doubts that his trips during the conclave were not without reason. He always visited Santi at that time. Through Imperia Cognati, a famous courtesan who was a patron of the arts and secured the commission for the Sistine Chapel first for Buonarroti, and later for Santi, he was associated with them. He may have painted some of the frescoes there. He hated his wife, but he wasn't a misogynist. Perhaps it was a complex. He, the man, is kept by his wife. It's true that he saw more beautiful women in his life, but he was narcissistic and vain. His self-portrait speaks volumes about him. He introduced himself as Jesus Christ, he didn't hide it. He was a close friend of Emperor Charles, but when visiting the emperor in public, he was the only one allowed to address him by his first name, and nothing happened to him for it. He also wore furs, which were reserved for the nobility. He could scold the king, and sometimes someone from the castle would come to quiet his family quarrels, because they could hear everything there and he didn't care. His hair revolutionized the history of art. These monuments are deserved, but there was someone else. Someone who flits through the entire apocalypse, best seen in the engraving of night, death, and the devil. Durer's dog. A pointer. It's not entirely true that the German pointer originated in the 19th century. It was then refined with the blood of the English pointer. It became lighter in build. It was then refined with English pointer blood. It became lighter in build. Nowadays, this build has been so artificially stretched out. Through incestuous relationships that diseases are perpetuated in breeding. Most pointers have difficulty walking in old age. 10 or 20 years ago it's rare. The Durer's pointer was a long-haired dog. The German long-haired pointer is now so rare that it is being considered for inclusion on the list of endangered breeds. It was of a heavier build. The pointer dog is not for everyone. Durer adored it, and man wrote a book about it, unfortunately rarely published. A dog completely devoted to its human, like most hunting dogs. This is a result of the breeding process. These dogs were meant to be obedient to humans to ensure successful hunting, while at the same time, they were meant to hunt for anything that walks and moves around that could be hunted. That's why these dogs don't fare well in shelters, especially the in Eastern Europe, the Balkans, and Southern Europe. These shelters are the dive, slaughter, survive the strongest. These aren't breeds that can live without humans. It's something that, when I watch modern social media and pointer owners, they forget about, and I'd gladly take those pointers away from them. This isn't a dog you strap to a bike and run. Until then. When it sees game, it will hunt and won't look at the bike. May the speed be with you. This is a dog not for tricks, not for sitting at home alone for several hours. It will ruin it. It will eat furniture out of boredom, because a pointer needs mental activity. A pointer that sits politely at home is old or sick. A pointer doesn't learn through school, orders won't help. Those wonderful, intelligent behaviorists who actually have no knowledge of animals can be thrown out. They should left because those who had real knowledge are not allowed to speak, because they were Nazis. Many of them are often scared to gone at war with religions, especially post-Latin churches religions, because in East Christianity and Islam with animals is different story. They protect the ideology of that just man have feelings to remain on a pedestal, even though the original breed doesn't mention any such superiority. Management isn't rain. Few sciences well would fell. It's a hunting dog. A bond must be established for it to listen. There's no bond. It will never listen. It can pretend to listen for peace of mind, but it will do its own thing. There must be cooperation. That's how these breeds were created. There's something else that Americans, in particular, have a problem with. The German pointer has only a few % of the blood of the British pointer, which hunted birds. Only birds. The German pointer is a continental pointer, and like all continental pointers, we read in the breed standards that it's a versatile hunting dog. Although someone will surely jump out now that a well-known search engine said, or a trendy GP chat said. Chat takes data from the same garbage as this search engine. If they said so and it's sacred, let these people dwell on their stupidity. They're usually the type who even diagnose a pain in the ass based on this search engine and this chat. Of course, it's always cancer, versatile, meaning it hunts everything. The comments under the photo of a pointer hunting wild boar are laughable, because sometimes they're taught that. No one taught them that. It's in their nature, just like it's in human nature to kill everything that lives, even each other. Human is the greatest apex predator, would kill all and eat all. That's why is so many of that species in the world. The Continental Pointer worked in completely different conditions than the English Pointer, where it lost to Spaniels. The Continental Pointer was supposed to be able to hunt anything because everything was necessary. It was supposed to cope in forests, mud, meadows, everywhere. This American mistake likely stems from the fact that they're in the same FCI group, but the English Pointer, unlike other breeds, has a separate subgroup. This is important. Unfortunately, British standards lump all pointers together. A British pointer probably won't be interested in a snake. A German pointer, however, will be. Since the Middle Ages, the pointer has been a symbol of good reasoning, zeal, and learning. A pointer quickly learns good and bad. It's best not to teach it to wear shoes, unless you want to turn them all into sandals. A pointer has an excellent memory. It remembers the scent of household members, remembers the way home, remembers who kicked it. Theories about dogs' short memories fall flat here. No, these are just theories. They are just as much theories as the theory that alcohol affects a fetus. People haven't drank water for centuries and reproduced practically drunk. Not everyone was born abnormal. Such a study, in today's legal framework, can't be conducted anywhere to confirm this. The brain also can't be fully examined, especially in an animal's. They don't speak our language. A friendship between a pointer and a cat is possible. A friendship with a hedgehog is possible. A friendship with a hare is possible. A hare jumped after one of my pointers. He rescued him in forest and several weeks grew up in our home. Probably after Durer as well. But initially, this friendship should be observed. It's a hunting dog. How a politician can feign friendship to throw his opponent off course and then hunt him down. That a pointer is attached to its humans. Too attached. So let's not be surprised that it will want to bathe with us, cook with us, and participate in all our activities. Even pull weeds, though it might even uproot the trees we've planted. Like a child, a pointer learns perfectly through imitation. And like a child, trying to please, it sometimes makes mistakes. I once knew a pointer that dug up 50 arborvitaes. Its human went to war with it. He dug, the dog dug. He would return from work and find arborvitaes at the door. Finally, it gave up, because the condition of the dug-up trees was deteriorating. After a while, the owner thanked him, because the remaining 70 had perished. The seedlings were infected probably in the breeding process. He had to plant a new hedge anyway. Unfortunately, a pointer is uncritical towards humans. If this bond develops, it will give its life for its human. Unfortunately, the same thing won't happen the other way around. That's why humans are apex predators. The term innate aggression is fashionable when charlatans called behaviorists, because they are charlatans, no longer know what to say. It's also fashionable to surrender the dog to a shelter. Children can annoy any dog, and modern mothers believe everyone has to put up with their child breaking windows, screaming at the slightest provocation, pulling the dog's tail, and jumping on it while it sleeps. This spoiled brat, although the mother claims he's having a wonderful time, is not having any fun at all, and is growing into a self-centered terrorist. The dog will defend itself, using its teeth. Then the dog pays, even though the child should be put down. In fact, to put it mildly, because it was the child's fault, and the dog responded. My opinions, like Machiavelli's, are rarely popular because they call a spade a spade. People hate that. Now mostly people don't raise children these days. It's produce and end on it, the rant that a dog should never use its teeth on a human. I don't know what idiot created for what idiot. Then take home a stuffed animal, not a dog. A dog, just like us, might not like something. They might be having a bad day. Many owners don't know how to recognize a dog's headache, and they as well have headache. Dogs also use their teeth during play, just like cats use their claws, so if a child and a dog are playing, the dog could nip them. The cat could scratch them. If she could, she'd put her children in a bubble, because even in a store, people don't look at them as they should. Especially if they're at the same developmental level. Today, people are trying to turn dogs into unnatural machines. Even in shelters, there are these stupid psychological tests for dogs. Shelter is a stressful situation, and many won't fare well. This should end, but it won't. Because humans have strayed too far from nature, and worse, they've started to consider themselves equal to God with knowledge of the world. Unfortunately, this is being pushed on them thanks to erroneous Bible translations that have never been corrected. Managing and ruling are different words. Aside from the fact that Lucifer might have been right not to bow before this. The little man drawn by Da Vinci in the circle collapses even with a simple mutation like hypertrichosis, which we all practically have. Mankind truly knows shit about the world. Durer had a dilemma. He always emphasized that he could get rid of his wife and wouldn't give his life for her, but he wasn't so sure about his pointer. Surprisingly, he's not a man considered to have feelings. He considered it an honor. I admit, I consider it an honor too. It was an honor to own Jerry too, whom my father bought for a sausage. The previous owner kept him chained, and children threw firecrackers into his kennel because he wouldn't bark. Explaining that a pointer wasn't a shepherd wasn't much use, he was bought for a sausage. It was a privilege to own Asia, who was found tied to a tree. It was a privilege to own Josephine, whom the first owner kept in a cage at home because she soiled the carpet with her paws. She was a dog with the patience of a saint. It was a privilege to own Eski Sarai, from whom one could learn much. A true queen. About whom this book is partly about. It was a privilege to own a Morgan Lafayette, whose first owner used it for fighting. It's a myth that only pit bulls compete in this industry. Any dog can, and you can even read about training methods online. He was the dog that kept our family from fighting for a while. His family functioned better than our human family. It's a privilege to own Henry. He definitely thinks he's a pointer. He's the feline version of a Morgan. He probably chose him for a reason. According to science, Morgan should live few weeks. He survived 10 years and run, Altoug he never should walk.